everyone, it's Debbie with Book and Bujo, where I talk about all things books, bullet journals, and stationery. It's time for the mid-year book tag. How's my reading gone so far, and what do I still need to get to? Let's find out. There are a lot of variations on the mid-year book tag out there. Mid-year goals check-in, we have the mid-year tag, mid-year freakout tag. I've done the mid-year freakout tag the last couple of years, but not all those questions really apply to me, and so I decided just to kind of pick and choose between all the ones I've seen. So this is kind of a compilation of all of the above. Question number 1. How has your reading gone so far this year? Pretty darn good, actually. Had some really good reads, some great reading months, and the only downside is I have been reading too much. I wanted to read less this year, take my time with the books a little bit more. Instead, I've read some that have just been so good, I've just gobbled them up, and I've read others that I'm like, don't really like these, so I'm just kind of reading it faster to get through it, which I didn't want to DNF because I wanted to find out what happened, but it wasn't anything that was amazing, so I just kind of went fast through it. So yeah. Anyway, a little too well, I would say. It's going really good, but also just a little too good. I am hoping I don't get into a reading slump because I have been reading a lot. I think I'm already at 150 books for the year, and that's a lot. The most I've read is like 219, 220, I think, maybe in a year. Now, some of these books are, under 100 pages, so, like 37 books, but it's on Goodreads as a book, so I count it as a book. And I've had a lot of books under 200 pages as well, so a lot of novellas and things like that. So I'm not counting, like all 500 page plus books and have read 150. Not quite that much, but still, it's a lot. And I wasn't planning on reading 300 books this year, so I'm hoping it slows down just a little bit. But we're also getting into that season of so many good books. So Magical Readathon's coming up, October with all of the good spooky reads, and then of course December with Lightfall and all of that. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I am hoping November will be a slow month. We'll see. Let's see how it goes. I did have a couple of months where some of the books that I read were kind of meh. I had a lot of classics. I like classics, but I had a lot of a similar style all in one month with a little too much prose for me, too much flowery prose, I guess you could say. And that kind of brought me down a little bit, and I was just like, oh, I don't want to read these books. They were good, but not quite my style or what I was looking for at the time. So I had a couple of months that were kind of meh, but the rest of the time I've had some great books. Question number 2, the best book you've read so far in 2025. Well, there's been quite a few, actually. Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. This was amazing. I can't wait to get to the rest of the series. Culinary Leverage by Douglas Keane, nonfiction. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Absolutely loved it. I also loved Seraphina, the first book in the series by Rachel Hartman. I loved the writing style. I loved the fantasy aspect of it, and it was just so fun. And I think also part of it was I was coming off of some books that I was just kind of meh about, and I got into that one, and it was a comfort read. It just felt like, like coming home after a vacation where you just want to sleep in your own pillow, sleep in your own bed with your own pillow, and that's kind of what it felt like. So I really enjoyed Seraphina. I also thoroughly loved Nona the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. I feel like it was along the same lines as Gideon the Ninth, where Harrow the Ninth, the writing style I felt was a little bit different. The readability of it was a little bit different than the other two, but I did like all three of them. But this year I did read None of the Night, that it was so good. I don't know why I waited so long to pick it up. I also loved I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. That one was really good. And if you need a translated book, this one was translated from French. But I think the best book I have read so far in 2025, definitely of Empires and Dust by Ryan Cahill. This is the 4th book in the Bound and the Broken series, and loved it. Loved it. It is 1,400 pages or something, but it didn't feel like that. I mean, it's long. It feels long, but not that long. It feels closer to like 700 or 800 pages. Like it's so good. It's so good. There's so much of things from the first original novella and each of the other books and all the other novellas that kind of come together in this book, and it's just so awesome to see all the storylines starting to come together and mesh, and all of the characters, and so good. So good. I can't say enough good things about the Bound and Broken series by Ryan Cahill, and this is kind of like the culmination of it all coming together for, yes, so awesome. There's still one more book and at least one more novella, I believe, in this series before it is done. But so good. Question number 3. What is the best sequel you read in 2025? Now, I don't know if I could say sequel as in like the second book in a series, because most of the books I've read have been like 3rd, 4th, 5th in the series, not actually the second. I don't know if I actually read any second books. One, two. Okay, so I did read one book. No, I have read a few books that are the second book in the series. I didn't think about that. So I read A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, and that one I did enjoy much more than A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I pretty much a 3.5 for me on that one. This one definitely got a 4. I also read Legendary, which is the second book in Caraval series by Stephanie Garber, and I did enjoy that one. I liked both books. I also finished the Monk and Robot series, a duology by Becky Chambers, and that was A Prayer for the Crown Shy, and I did really enjoy that one. It's a great duology. And we're just going to forget that I read the Boys of Tommen series, because I did read the sequel to that one, but I will not be continuing with that one. Definitely a DNF'd series. Hey, I DNF'd something. It's a first. I also read A Twist of the Blade, which is the second book in the Shadows and Crowns series by S.M. Gaither, and I really enjoyed that one as well. I read Apprentice to the Villain, the second book in the Assistant to the Villain series by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I did read the Green Hollow duology, which is Silver in the Wood and Drowned Country, and that's by Emily Tesh, and those were both really good too. So I'd say if it has to be a sequel, as in the second book in a series, the best one I've read is definitely Stone of Farewell by Tad Williams, and this is the second book in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series. I love the first book, love the second book even more, and I am looking forward to reading the third book in August. But the ones that actually came to mind weren't sequels as in the second, but they were continuations of the series. Of course, Of Vampires and Dust by Ryan Cahill, the fourth book in the Bound and Broken series. That one is hands down the winner for everything so far this year. But I did read A Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Love that one. That one's the prequel novel to The Hunger Games with Haymitch as the main character. I also read Cress, which is the third book in the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. Love that one. As well as The Tropic of Serpents by Marie Brennan, and that's the second book in the Memoirs of Lady Trent series, and I loved that one. Love that one too. But I'm going to go ahead and stick with Stone of Farewell by Tad Williams, because I'd forgotten about that one, and I love that one. So good. That one's another kind of feels like coming home style of writing. Like if you like Lord of the Rings style and Robin Hobb's writing style, this kind of has a nice middle ground between the two in it, and it's so good. Question number 4. The book you had the most fun reading? Well, I actually had a few. So Ready Player One was by Ernest Cline. It was so much fun. There's so much nostalgia, 80s references, pop culture reference type stuff in it. And it's fun and quirky and entertaining and easy to read. And yeah, it was great. Love that one. But I also really liked Dealing with Dragons by Patricia C. Weirdy. And this one is the first book in the series. And it's a YA middle grade, kind of between middle grade and YA, but it was so cute. It was just fun and kind of comforting as well, but it was really cute. Lots of women empowerment in that one as well. It was very fun. I also loved Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce. That one was really cute. As a drama nerd growing up, who married someone who, he wasn't really a D&Der, but he did play Dungeons and Dragons with his friends. So it was just very fun to kind of have, not that that was our story at all, but just to have some of the things that we enjoyed doing during school in a book together. It was very fun. But I'm gonna have to say that the winner for this one, the most fun I've had reading, is Seeking Jake Ryan, and that is by M.F. Lorson and Jessica Bucher, and it is part of the Dear Molly series, the first book in the series, and this was just so cute. I love 16 Candles, and this book, because Jake Ryan, the main character in 16 Candles, I mean, who didn't, as you were a young teen, preteen, in my case, who didn't like Jake Ryan and Molly Ringwald growing up, right? Yeah. So this one brought so many nostalgia, feel-good vibes, and it was just lots of fun. As someone who was unapologetically herself, same with Dungeons and Drama, both of them. I really liked that. Just they were secure in themselves and be unapologetically you. I love that. So, Seeking Jake Ryan by M.F. Lorson and Jessica Bucher. Number 5. New release you haven't read yet, but you want to, and I'm taking this as in it's already been released, like this year, and not an upcoming release that is still coming, like in August, October, December, later in the year. And for this one, it's Accidentally on Purpose by Kristen Kish and Steph Farron. So I first heard of Kristen Kish on Top Chef. And from the beginning, the first episode, I want them to win. There's just something about this person that is drawing me, and I want them to win. And then I was watching Iron Chef, and I love Alton Brown, always have, he's amazing. And then to see that Kristen Kish is one of the co-hosts on Iron Chef, and I was like, what? This is awesome. So it was nice to see their journey go from, Top Chef and Iron Chef and some of the other things that they've been doing. I would love to hear a little bit more about their story. So I want to read Accidentally on Purpose. Number 6, most anticipated book of the last half of 2025. I have a few. I've already talked about one, and that is Wisdom Takes Work by Ryan Holiday. I believe that comes out in September of this year. I love Ryan Holiday's work and The Daily Stoic and all of that. Also, We Love You, Bunny by Mona Awad. I just finished my reread of Bunny, so I'm very excited for September when We Love You, Bunny comes out. And I am first on my list from the library to get that book when it comes in. And they've already ordered it, so very excited for that one. But I think my number one anticipated right now that I know of, and that is Empire of the Dawn by Jay Kristoff. I still need to get to the second book. I read Empire of the Vampire already and loved it. So good. And I can't wait to get to the second book so then I can get to the third one when it comes out later this year. November, I think? I think it's November. Number 7, worst book you've read so far in 2025. I had to think about this one. I don't think I gave anything under 3 stars this year. And I feel like that's pretty good considering I've read 150 books. So nothing under 3 star is pretty good. So we're kind of digging through the bottom of the top barrel, I guess you could say. And there's a couple like poems from the Book of Hours, Rainer Maria Wilke. There's nothing wrong with them, and there are quite a few that I liked, but just poetry isn't my thing. So I don't feel like I could really count that because it's not necessarily my thing to read poetry. The Canterbury Tales were fine, nothing wrong with them by Geoffrey Chaucer. Nothing really stood out to me though. I think personally the tales were a little too long, but again, it's kind of that more poetry, flowery, prosy things in meter style of writing that's not really my thing. So I still feel bad kind of counting one of those. Okay, Blackbeard Buccaneer. That one wasn't a favorite. I forgot to write Ralph Payne, I think. Something like that. This is the last time. I can't remember off the top of my head. It was okay. It was all right. I mean, that's probably at least one of my least favorites. The bottom 3, I guess you could say. So then we're down to the other two that I was kind of like, 3 stars, 3.5. And that was, so I think probably Blackbeard Buccaneer probably gave 3. So the two 3.5 stars were Canterbury Tales, 3.5, 3.5. But then The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay was a 3.5. And that, I feel like that's, looking back now, that might be a little generous. 3.5, 3.25. I don't really give quarter stars, so 3.5. And the other one is Paradise Lost. It's just that writing style that I just, yeah. And when I first started reading this, I texted my sister, I'm like, what am I reading? It's like, what is this? And yeah, once I kind of got my mind wrapped around that, then I was able to get into it a little bit more, but still wasn't one of my favorite reads. So there you go. There was 4. Biggest surprise book that you read? Well, there's 3. One of them was Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang by Kylie Lee Baker, and I really enjoyed that book. I've heard a lot of good stuff and heard a lot of kind of new stuff, so a lot of the body horror and all of that. And it didn't bother me in this book because it made sense. The main character goes in and cleans up crime scenes after police investigations and stuff. They go in and clean that up. So that kind of made sense. Some of the gore and descriptions that came about from that made sense. I get that. But I just love the thought-provoking aspect of the story itself. Like, if you take that part out of it, the rest of the story still stands on its own without the body horror part in there. And it was just so interesting and intriguing and made me think, and yeah, liked it. One of the other ones is, that's the other sequel I did read this year, The Dark Forest by Cixin Liu, and this one is the sequel to Earths of Remembrance Past, so the 3-body problem. It's the second book, and I think it's Earths of Remembrance Past is the series. So good. Again, thought-provoking. I didn't quite get it all the way through. Like, there are parts I'm like, I don't understand what's happening, but made me feel like not quite as smart as I wish I was. But it didn't matter. You still get the gist of it, and kind of, I didn't get lost or anything throughout it, but it was really good. Very interesting. I like that storyline, I think, more than I like the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. I think I struggle a little bit more in that series, understanding and being able to really grasp the concepts, than I do in Remembrance of Earth's Past. Remembrance of Earth's Past. That series, the 3-body problem series. Yeah, I definitely like that one a little bit more. But I think this one, mainly because I had no idea what to expect going into this one. Didn't know anything about what it was. And that was Table for 5 by Izzy Bromley. And just the found family aspect and the community aspect of this book was just so heartwarming and just so sweet. And it was, just so refreshing. That's the word I'm looking for. It was very refreshing. It was a breath of fresh air. Really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it. Question number 10. Favorite new author? So either a new author to you, or it's this author's debut. And again, I have to mention Serafina by Rachel Hartman. I just loved that one. It was so good. And this one was a prompt for Separathon. I had to read a book from the Reading Wren's favorite book list that was posted on Instagram, and I chose this one, and they had given it 5 stars, and I loved it. Loved it. So thank you so much for recommending Serafina. Again, Bat Eater by Kylie Lee Baker. I liked the writing style, the readability of the book, and the interesting aspects to it, like how intriguing it was and it making you think. I would love to read more from Kylie Lee Baker. Also, The Memory Police by Yoko Agawa. So good. Again, it kind of was along the lines of 1984, Brave New World, and I didn't realize this. I thought this was more of a newer release, like in the 2000s, but no, I'm pretty sure this one's from the 90s. But it was so good, and I liked the interesting take on kind of like that dystopian apocalyptic world in the future. Lastly, it was Natural Beauty by Ling Ling Huang, and this was a debut, so new to me and a debut author. And again, just so interesting. More body horror for this one as well. So if that's a trigger for you, do be careful going into some of these. But it was so good. Again, it's kind of got that that thought-provoking side of it. Like, you can take it at face value, but you can also kind of dig in a little deeper and kind of find the hidden meanings in there, or what takeaways that you can kind of take out and apply to your life. Highly recommend all of those. A book that has made you cry so far. Well, I don't really cry at books too often. Sometimes I get a little like choked up, maybe a little watery, but no tears. Don't like actually cry. But this one, I actually did have to wipe away a couple tears, and that was Culinary Leverage by Douglas Keane. Just, I had connected to the character, well, the real person. This is a memoir, so I connected to the chef and some of the things that he went through and that all chefs kind of go through, and just the story was told in such a good way that you were able to relate to him and care about him and his situation and the people around him, and it was just so good. It was really good. Question number 12, the most beautiful book you have bought so far in 2025. Well, I had to remember when some of my broken binding editions came in, because most of the books I've bought are from the library and they're all just normal covers, nothing exciting about them. So we had the M.A. Carrick books, The Mask of Mirrors, but I remember opening these ones now and I'm like, oh yeah, definitely these, because I was just like, what? After everything I opened and looked at, and that is definitely the Rift War Saga by Raymond E. Feist from the Broken Binding. I mean, that is just stunning, and I love this cover. But then I opened it up and looked inside and was like, oh yeah, definitely. So pretty. And the end paper, or sprayed edges, the end papers are stunning. It just, yeah. And then of course the second book came in and it's just as stunning. Look at all that water. Oh, I could use that. Oh, can use this for Become the Avatar for Herkied. We've got the air and the water. That'll work. Well, that may not be the most beautiful. It's very artistic, but a little creepy. And I got a notice that the third one just shipped, so I should be getting that one in soon. So yeah, definitely this edition of The Magician, first book in the Rift War Saga by Raymond E. Feist. Question number 13, books you still need to read by the end of 2025. Well, I have not made good progress on my 25 and 2025 list. I definitely need to read those. I also need to finish my 52 book club readathon books and horror bingo readathon. Those ones by the end of September. There's a lot. But one of them is definitely Between Two Fires by Christopher Buehlman, and I did get this one in from the library, so I do have that. I do actually really want to read Brat as well by Andrew McCarthy. But Between Two Fires works for Horror Bingo Readathon. This one works for 52 Book Club, I believe. So that's good. That gets two of them out of the way. Never Whistle at Night, also for the Horror Bingo Readathon, and it just sounds intriguing. Will work for Herkied. It just sounds really good. An anthology of short stories by Indigenous authors. Yes, please. For 52 Book Club, I believe, and it might also be on my 25 in 2025 list. That is The Chalice of the Gods by Rick Riordan, part of the Percy Jackson series or universe. I really do want to read this one. The other one that I really want to read is the third book in the Edan series by Philip Chase, and that is Return to Edan. And I definitely want to finish off this series, but there's also kind of a little, oh, actually, I don't know. But Philip Chase has another one out. I'm not sure if it's a companion novel to the Edan series or if it's a separate one, but that is While Darkness Gathers. And so I want to read both of those by Philip Chase by the end of the year as well. And Return to Edan is also on my 25 and 2025 list, so that'll be good. I still have 15 books on my 25 and 2025 list. Yeah. Let's see. Return to Edan is on there, so that will help. As is Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. I do want to get to that one. That one's an Amazon borrow. Hellbent by Lee Bardugo, but my library does have the audiobook now. They didn't used to, they do now. So that'll make it a little easier. Maybe these will be in November. I'll need to read as many 2025 books, 25 and 2025 books as possible. Now, I do have a Bengali book on here, and that is on Herkied, so I do plan to read that one. Yeah, I have some Christopher Rocchio, some Adrian Young, Chelsea Abdullah, James Islington. Yeah. There's a lot. Let's move on. Question number 14. What was your favorite video that you made in 2025? Well, I do always love doing my TBR-opoly videos because those are so much fun. So much fun. I also do like doing some collaboration things, so joining in on sprints on some other people's channels like Completely Melanie. She's always so much fun to do videos with. I also had so much fun making the Herkied videos so far, like the little kind of me and the little upper screen and sharing the spreadsheet with you and going over that. I've been enjoying that too. So hopefully you like those because I plan on continuing that for the rest of Herkied. Which leads us into question 15. Upcoming videos you are excited to make. And that would be continuing with my Herkied videos. Because those have been a lot of fun and I've been really enjoying them. I also want to kind of continue with some of my favorite things. So talking about some of the things that I really like. So whether that be journaling supplies, certain authors that I love, maybe things around the house that I like, and crafting things that I like to do. And I kind of want to do a little bit more with the crafting videos as well, just scatter a few here and there, whether they're in vlogs or they have separate videos for those. So those are things I'm kind of toying with and hoping to do, either continuing in 2025 or starting in 2026. Okay, 3 more questions. Question 16. What's a backlist book that has caught your eye? So I have 2, and one of them, luckily, is on my 25 and 2025, and that is Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. I do want to jump on the Dungeon Crawler Carl train and check it out, see what I think. The other one is Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller, and this one is part of the Nevermore-a-thon, readathon that is happening in August with Chaos in Bookland, and this is the team book for the Gold Bugs. Question 17. A favorite genre you found in 2025? Well, that would have to be fantasy lit fic. Possibly a little magical realism in there too, because like The Memory Police, Natural Beauty, Bat Eater, I Who Have Never Known Men, I Cheerfully Refuse. Like, I've been jumping into some of these books, and these are not my norm, not anything I would have gone out of my way to find, but they've been in book clubs and parts of readathons and things like that, and I have just been really enjoying them. So it was nice to find some other books outside of fantasy, because I do love fantasy, still my top read genre. But to find some other books I can pepper in there, here and there, that are a little different than my normal fantasy tropes. And lastly, book number 18, the next book that you are most excited to read. So something that is upcoming that you're going to be reading. And that would be Between Two Fires by Christopher Buehlman. I don't really actually know that much about it. I don't know why I'm so excited to read it, but for some reason I've been hearing a lot of people talk about it lately. It's part of the Horror Bingo Readathon, and I just am intrigued. I want to know what the hype is about this book. I want to know why people are liking it, why people are talking about it all the time. So I am very excited to read that next, and that will be coming up soon. Also very excited to read Brat. I love the Brat pack. I love Andrew McCarthy and that whole gang. So I am very excited to read this and just to see his take on that time of his life. The other 2, I'm still waiting for my library. So whenever those come in, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I do like V.E. Schwab. And The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodges. I think the audiobook, I think I have that one coming up for my library soonish. I think that one, I'm next on the list for that one. But Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, I'm still like 8 of 16. 6 of 8. I don't know, somewhere in there. It'll still be a while. It'll probably be November before I get that one. We'll see. Hopefully I can get it in October. That wouldn't be too bad, but I would like to read that before then. we'll see. That was a book club book pick for July, but it's still not in yet. So yeah, it's been, I think I put it on hold in June, so it's been about a month and still hasn't come in yet, but that's all right. I will patiently wait and be excited to read that one. So yeah, for the ones I actually have, I think these two are the ones I'm most excited to read right now. And that was it for the mid-year book tag. I would love to find out what some of your answers are to the mid-year book tag. So let me know down below if you want to pick your favorite question and answer that down in the comment section. That would be great. I have some new goals coming up. I do want to create a Discord server for my channel, somewhere where we can all come and chat and find a nice little community of bookish peeps and journaling peeps where we can all come together and chat, as well as maybe have some book club opportunities where we can discuss them there in the Discord if you are interested. And I also want to create a couple of printables for you, namely my Bible reading tracker, because this is one I have had requested many times. So I would like to create a printable for this one that would work with all sizes of journals from, the A4, A5, A6, B5, B6, traveler's notebook, passport, all of that. So those are things that are on the horizon. Don't know if I'll get them all done by the end of 2025, but at least get them all started and moving in that direction. And again, I'm starting this month. I'm starting in August, but I want to get back into crocheting because it's been many years. It's been a couple decades, honestly. I was a youngin' when I learned, so I think I was middle school when my mom taught me, and I did a little bit in high school, a little bit just outside of high school, so not decades at that point, but well, actually, maybe. I am getting old, but yeah. So I do want to get more into crocheting, and another goal, which will be more for 2026, I want to do one of the genre blankets that everybody has been doing. Like Becca in the Books has one. I think Book Roast just did one, and there's a couple others that have done the genre blankets, and I want to do something like that. So I think Book Roast did the granny squares. So she did the little squares for each of the genres and then put them all together into a big blanket. Other people do like one full row of the blanket will be whatever, like if I read fantasy, sci-fi, lit fic, magical realism, and it would be a different color, and then you would put that all together into one blanket, which would be kind of fun. But that would be kind of a big blanket either way. I read over 200 books. Yeah. We'll see. It's a goal. For this year, my goals were to read 12 classics, so I've pretty much done that, but not necessarily the classics I wrote down. I've read 3 of the classics that I wrote down. Yeah. But I do have one. Sandition is on my August TBR by Jane Austen. And I know I will be reading Far from the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy. I will be reading that one because that's part of the Benjamin McAvoy's Hardcore Literature Book Club. And that's our December book, so I will be reading that one. But I have been reading classics, just not the ones I picked out. Read 12 nonfiction. I have done that as well, or at least most of them, but I've only read 2 that were actually on my list. And I don't think none of those are on my August TBR either. But at least I have been reading them, just not the ones I picked out. Oh, another goal is I do want to create a digital version of my TBRopoly with the cards and everything, so you could play it online if you would like to, and possibly do a printable as well. That might be a 2026 goal now, though. We'll see. I did make some book covers to do for giveaways, not necessarily these ones, this is just the ones I had sitting right there because I'm going to be using them on my August books. But I do have some book covers that I do want to do a couple more giveaways for. I've done a couple so far, but I do want to do another one. I was thinking of participating in Vlogmas. Not sure. I may just do shorts during Vlogmas, one for each day, but we'll see. Or just a vlog and release one a week that has little snippets from each day. We'll see. I want to do something for Vlogmas this year. Do more art projects, which I have been doing, which is great. This would be included in that. And the watercolor project I did this past month. use the supplies I have and don't buy more. I've been doing fairly good with that. I have gotten some more stickers, but not an excessive amount, and the ones I've gotten I've already been using, so I've been using what I have plus the ones I just got. I got those for more specific reasons, so I've been doing fairly well there also. So I've been doing fairly well, kind of half and half on the goals that I had set for 2025, but we still have 5 more months left in the year because we're already at the end of July and into August, but that's okay. I would love to find out if you have completed any of your goals for 2025 already, and if so, what were they? And what main goal are you planning on working on from now through the end of 2025? I would love to find out. And if you made it this far in the video, leave a heart emoji in the comments for such a great reading year so far in 2025, and to let me know that you're here. And please like, comment, and subscribe if you want, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other bookish content. And until next time, keep reading. Bye!